The reigning champs on NBC Sports California, powered by Holiday White. Porzingis back from that in Sacramento, winning the earlier one back in January. The Southern California Hoopers. Inside, Porzingis wasn't ready for the pass. Holiday with a quick three, and he laces that one. The first thing is down this year.
Yeah, Drew Holiday, I mean, he's career, he's a phenomenal three-point shooter, about 37 in 16 years. As DeMar not able to get that little jumper to go, but Holiday shooting a career low from beyond the arc.
Been dealing with a shoulder injury for part of the season. Brown.
And he got a deep seal, and Kings got in foul trouble early.
This time it's Levine on Jaylen Brown, the reigning finals MVP. Lays it home back in Northern California, where he played his collegiate basketball just down Interstate 80 at Cal Berkeley. Levine, Murray off the lift. And he swishes the
knock down that early three, really important in terms of getting things going from a synergistic standpoint for the Kings.
Porzingis inside with the putback.
Nice help and dig down there by Zach LaVine to make him have to operate in space in a crowd.
With Sabonis back in the ball game, the opportunity for the Kings to rake and take off the glass. Murray another three. Butter.
Saw the pass out, his kick out to DeMar. As soon as he let it fly, skipping it to the other side. Domas so excited about the ball movement and the open look.
Brown drives it on Sabonis, back out to Tatum. His three off the mark, and it's rebounded by Domas. This is a part of the offense that the Kings have really missed. Sabonis adding a little bit of pace with his...
Did there, wide open look again for Keegan.
Zach LaVine inside, tried to dump it off Sabonis. Got
in terms of playmakers,
right.
and Domas has missed segments of time.
Points per game off of elbow touches. Gives the squad so much at that end of the floor, not to mention his relentless rebounding. Good full court pressure. Murray comes up with the theft. And an extra possession for the Kings. Sabonis on the attack. Out to Murray, drives the closeout. Porzingis switched on to him. Here's Sabonis. DeMar walks into the three.
And by the way, did you see what Domantas Sabonis did there on the handoff? He also set a little ghost screen as well to be able to free up that shot. DeMar not able to knock it down, and Porzingis on the other end can't connect either. Another
rebound for Sabonis, brings it across. Hands it off to DeRozan. Nice hit feed inside. Sabonis got it to go with the offhand.
And you got the small on Domas down low. You're patient, draw Porzingis out, and an easy dump down pass.
Boy, that's the type of energy and pace that you love to see from the Kings early in the ballgame at the offensive end. Tatum on the backdoor cut.
The contact was, but nonetheless, Celtics at the
candidate. Not just his scoring, his defending, and the way that he is manipulating the game at the offensive end, his rim season. Murray will bring it up against Derek White. Celtics have two All-NBA, All-Defensive players on the team. Murray got the second one to go. Keegan Murray was 8 quick points. Brown on the wing. A steal by Ellis. Steps through. You've got to watch. Ellis coming off one of his better scoring previous game against Milwaukee, ended up with 20. Doug Christie was actually lamenting the fact, Katie, that he didn't play Keon a little bit more down the stretch.
Well, I think it's difficult when you're missing so many different guys and you've got a different starting lineup. It seems like every other night due to injury and the illness that's been going through the locker room for Doug to really...
Games in the month of March. Hey, don't miss out on tonight's...
I feel like it's got to be a little bit about maybe keeping him out of situations where, you could potentially re-injure that ankle.
I'm old enough to remember when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would do that on free throws, just hang out at the other end.
You're so young.
Thank you, Katie. You're a little late in coming there, okay?
I know, so sorry. The reply was, I was doing the math. I'm so sorry. And it's not my strong suit, yes.
DeRozan arrived to the game tonight in a lowrider and laid that in. Sabonis again off the glass. Taking it 94 feet. Tip out to Levine. Cross court to Murray. Pulls another three. And here's Holiday bring it up for the Celtics, who trail by 6.
Watch Keegan Murray hustling back. He was the shooter gets back and stops Tatum bringing the ball, and the Kings with another defensive stop and pushing the pace, I think, is a great idea against this defense.
LaVine likes this matchup against Pritchard, but he's a good defender. Knocked it away. That's the first turnover for Sacramento. And the conversion at the...
Yeah. Go ahead and step out of the way. Don't risk another foul. He's already picked up a foul here early.
Rosen off the double drag. Turns the corner on Holiday. Passes inside. Drew the contact. Count it. In both offensive and defensive ratings. Sabonis. Tatum goes quickly against Murray. Back out to Pritchard. That might be the sixth man of the year this year, folks. Peyton, the previous run, knocks down the three.
Yeah, there are a few great candidates. I feel like we've seen a lot of them here recently as well during this homestand.
DeRozan against Porzingis. Out to Ellis. Step back with a long two, falls. Keon Ellis with his second field goal. He's got 5. That one comes off to Sabonis, who's racking up the rebounds already. He's got 7 of them. Back out to DeRozan. Rejects the screen, guarded by Brown. Got him in the air. Wonderful step through by DeMar.
Moves so calm. You cannot speed him up. And he just uses the fundamentals to destroy you.
Tatum inside for Brown. It's picked off by Murray. Boy, Keegan Murray has been impregnable defensively. LaVine. And rebounded by Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown been dealing with a sore knee of late. Jake LaRavia getting ready to come into the ball game as Tatum pulls the three. A little bit strong. He's right around 35% on the season.
And crazy, he also is shooting a career low in terms of percentage, but he is shooting over 10 a game, which the volume is also a career high. So it's evening out. You've gotta understand that that is so much a part of his offense.
That's the guy Sacramento has to get going right now, is Zach LaVine. He's only taken 2 shots here in the first quarter. DeRozan went for the fake into Holiday. One more to Tatum. Open 3, lined up the seams and laces and knocks it down.
The ball movement by Boston, but I want to point out the defensive effort, not just the first effort, but the second effort there by DeMar DeRozan, making Jaylen Brown have to give up that 3, but he kicked it to an open Tatum.
Sabonis off the mark on the 3. Remember the first game between those two teams? Everybody was surprised that Sabonis made all those 3. He appeared to be moving pretty well out there. Not much different from his normal gait or movement pattern. LaRavia with a quick 3. LaVine couldn't keep it in play.
His lateral movement isn't going to be maybe as top tier as maybe he can be with that ankle.
Oh, wonderful in and out dribble by Tatum, but he missed the layup.
Screens at him, and his ability to maneuver and the defense as they adjust. He went through so much traffic right now. I mean, you look at some of the stuff offensively that Boston runs, and it is truly matches their talent, right? They utilize every ounce of talent that they have.
Lead is down to 3, not for long. Murray fights over the screen, trying to stay with Tatum. He snakes it. The midi comes up a little bit short, rebounded by Zach LaVine. Quick hit ahead to LaRavia. He's going to be trapped, and they turn him over in the corner. Christie calling for a foul. No whistle on the play. Pritchard with the spin. Fournette over to Holiday. And that comes off to Valanciunas. Sacramento looking to push, and JV taking it off the glass and pushing it on the dribble.
For JV.
As if Domas can do it, I can do it too. He sold the ball fake real well. LaVine inside Valanciunas. Everything but the bucket. LaRavia kept it alive to Murray. Murray comes off to Tatum. Sacramento with a couple of good opportunities. Pritchard now in the front court. Empty corner 2-man game. Pritchard has it rim out to JV. Now Christie making the call. They're going to run a little bit of elbow action here. Man, Cornette just pounding Valanciunas with his arms in his chest. Murray has a mismatch over Pritchard, and that rims out. But Keegan Murray active offensively, hunting shots. He's 3 for 7.
Very active offensively, and it says a lot about how much work he's having to do on this end of the floor.
Cornet inside off the great time from talking about Tatum's playmaking ability a moment ago. You saw it right there. Keon Ellis slips in on the screen to get the
Valanciunas.
Sacramento up to 48% from the field. 16 paint points so far against 8 for the Celtics. Tatum. Boy, how did that pass get through to Holiday?
We've seen.
He's run some split action. Here's DeMar. Rejects the screen. And missing the midi. Rebounded by White. Sacramento with 48% from the field so far. Porzingis checked back into the ball game during the break. Valanciunas lost his balance on that closeout. He's limping a little bit. White. One more to Jaylen Brown. Lost the handle, got it back. Porzingis at the free throw line. And
during the month of March, the Celtics are 10-1.
yeah. Oh, did we mention they're on a 5-game?
And then they're started up this current 5-game winning streak.
DeRozan inside. Valanciunas couldn't make the catch. And Derek White with it off the turnover. That's the 5th giveaway so far for Sacramento. Pritchard. Brown with imperious drive on the baseline.
As he put the ball on the deck.
Jaylen Brown doing what he's doing at the time of the year when a lot of our Muslim in the spirit and the soul. 9-0 scoring run. Brown had it knocked away. Good defense that time by LaRavia.
He just continues to impress me on the defensive end.
Markelle Fultz with the left. Coming up a little bit short. Pritchard on the move. Brown walks into the 3. And rebounded by the Kings. Sacramento down by 4. DeRozan off to a rather slow start. Just 4 points on a couple of field goals. That line drive never had a chance. Valanciunas out to DeRozan. Fultz. Markelle shot that with confidence and knocked.
In this game, Keegan Murray with the other 2, and those came early in the first quarter.
Boy, look at LaRavia sticking to Jaylen Brown. Great defense. The Kings in transition. Pardon me, in rotation. Good contest on the Porzingis 3, and it comes off to Fultz. LaRavia with room service.
Far in his role coming off the bench.
Does so many things at both ends of the floor. As a cutter and spacer, offensively. Tenacious defense right now on Brown as White misses the 3. Rosen will bring it across. Sacramento up by a point. Sabonis getting ready to come back into the game. Empty corner 2-man game. Boy, DeRozan having a tough start off.
A heavy load, and his legs look a little bit, you know, affected by that at the moment.
Brown off the wide pin down. Back out to Porzingis, into the top 5 defenses in the NBA, the Boston Celtics. Sabonis off the feet from Fultz. Baseline cut by Lyles. DeRozan spins and fires. Finally it falls.
Well, if the shot's not falling from the mid-range, get in that paint, get to the rim. He finishes so well down low.
He's up to 6. Fultz got stuck on Porzingis. Shot clock at 6. White inside. Good contest and a better shot by Doug Christie having a spirited, impassioned conversation with one of the officials about the last non-call. DeRozan pulls. Front rimmed it again.
Yeah, he's just short today.
Here's Pritchard. Drives it on Lyles. Peyton Pritchard with a wonderful fake. Got the lay with the left. And Boston back up by 1. He is fearless. Driving into the paint. Arabia out to Sabonis. And that's going to be a block ball game for him. Here's DeRozan. Sabonis flips the screen for DeMar, and another one on the front rim. Put the second one home.
When you know you're shooting a little bit short, then you also know that you can go straight to the offensive glass there, and he's stuck with it and gets the bunny.
White snakes the screen. Cornette with a catch and the layup inside. Tell you what, Luke Cornette and Elias Cada and Porzingis give the Celtics a great rotation at the 5 game.
They absolutely do. And, you know, talking to the broadcast team earlier, they really, really love Mimi.
Fultz another three. He's been putting in the work with assistant coach Ricky Foy.
The best thing about him is that when he comes in and his minutes might be sparse and he might play a bunch as the Celtics answer back with a triple on the other end. He might play a bunch during the course of a couple games. It doesn't matter how long it's been. He steps in and he's confident. He doesn't hesitate. He knows where the shots can come from. He knows the difference between a good and a bad shot, and he makes great decisions.
Sabonis going to work against Cornette. Got him in the air. And
second game in a Mavericks uniform.
Yeah. But they're tied in the loss column with Dallas.
That's where things will likely change, right? That 10 spot is kind of the big question. The other ones seem at this point to kind of be set.
And remember, if you don't already know, 9 plays at home against 10, 7 plays at home against 8. The loser of 7-8.
He's got 11 points, tied with Tatum for the team high.
Here's Zach LaVine. Got to get going here in the second quarter. Might have heard me right there. Zach LaVine.
And that's kind of, you know, what we've seen in this first half is both Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan have kind of struggled offensively. And the Kings holding their own because it's been their defense and the other guys that are contributing on the offensive end.
Tatum missed it off glass. Cornette with the cleanup.
And Domas took a blow to the...
LaVine out top. The wide action. DeRozan comes across, and here's Sabonis, top of the three-point circle. Spins, kicks it back out to DeRozan. Nice pass back to...
Infuriated with the officials. You very rarely see Domantas Sabonis so animated as he's speaking to the officials, and man, was he aggressive on that offensive play.
Holiday from 15. LaVine tapped it to Sabonis. Amos on the sticks, hands it to LaVine, trying to get downhill, but that's an all-NBA defender in Drew Holiday. Back out to LaVine, catch and shoot. Loose ball comes off to the Celtics. Tied at 47. Richard on the wing, guarded by Ellis. Tatum with that high ball screen again, snakes it. Got a little bit of room. That one comes off, tipped up by Cornette, no good. LaVine, one more. Ellis took his eyes off the target and lost the ball. Pritchard slams on the accelerator. Yeah.
I understand what the adrenaline can do, but yeah, you know what? It is the reason why he is one of the leading candidates for Sixth Man of the Year, and he has just been absolutely phenomenal in his role.
LaVine rejects the screen over to DeRozan. Catch and shoot three comes off. LaVine skying for the rebound, got it back. Another opportunity
for defense to continue to hold up against this Celtics offense, because you know they're going to try and go on a little run here to end the half.
Murray trying to stick Tatum. Cornette sprints into the screen. Pritchard open, look for three. Halfway down and out to Ellis. LaVine with a little bit of pace into the front court. Crosses on Shearman. Raises up for the lay. But Christie could use a lot more of that. Just his second field goal. Ellis trying to guard Tatum. Spins away from contact.
That's an unfortunate foul on Domas. I didn't really see where that came from. And already a double-double for Domantas Sabonis. 10 points, 10 boards. Good to have that man back.
DeRozan getting downhill. Got a mismatch against Cornette. Got a little bit of food here. On an island. Defers to LaVine. Shot clock almost expired. And a good defensive sequence that time for Boston. Here's Jason Tatum with 11 points. Make it 14.
Go underneath. Just a great read there by Jason Tatum. And you see how all of that action kind of at the high three, they get so many looks out of that. And it is difficult to maneuver defensively.
Here's DeRozan, rips through on the drive, blocked by Cornet. Tatum leading the break. Pritchard one more to the corner. At three short, rebounded by Murray. And then Sherman with the steal and a beautiful dive.
As of late, I mean, playing in the first half, not something that they have shown very much, but obviously getting the call, and you can see why.
Levine drives it on Tatum. Into the corner, one more to Murray. And Drew Hunt too many shots.
Yeah, just 4 points for him, 2 of 7 from the field. And where he's really struggled over the last 2 games has been his perimeter shot. But in the first 2 games against the Celtics team while he was with the Bulls, he averaged 32.5 points.
Sabonis trying to pull his way to the basket, out to Murray. Drives it on Porzingis, raised up. Had it blocked, but Sabonis had his back.
On Porzingis, he was able to track it down and get the block, but Domantas Sabonis sticking with it, coming up with that ball and able to get the putback.
Quiet first half for Jaylen Brown, too. He has 4. Keon Ellis might be part of the reason why.
And he's just such a physical offensive player, creates a ton of contact as White knocks down the triple. They have the ability to use Brown both on the perimeter and to post him down low and clear out that space.
You know, he's one of the most efficient post-up scorers in the NBA. Well over a point per possession. Sabonis goes tween against Tatum. Walks him down and then lost the ball, but knocked him off. He's 4 of 14 now. Brown surveys into the corner. Holiday over Sabonis. Hit the side of the backboard. Keegan Murray walks into the 3.
And I like that shot. And you can hear Doug Christie actually calling from the bench for him to shoot it. That is the type of 3 you want in transition, the walk-up 3.
They trap Tatum out near midcourt. Here's Brown. Out to Porzingis. Fakes the corner pass. Got it up on the rim, but it's rebounded by Sabonis.
Phenomenal defense right there by the Kings.
And that's going to go. Sabonis is furious. Meanwhile, Holiday off the screen. Cross court for White. That one comes off. Out to Tatum, though. And that one rebounded by Ellis. Christie makes the call. Ellis around the Sabonis screen. Brown switched onto him, got a mismatch, and he missed the layup. And, boy, it looked like they're wrestling underneath the key there. Sumo wrestling there.
Just kind of aggravated, infuriated about the amount of contact and the lack of calls.
Double team on Tatum. Holiday inside. Block.
Forcing the miss and the defensive board.
Off the Tatum miss. Here's Ellis. Into the corner. Levine drives on the baseline. Oh, lead is down to 4. Porzingis drives it on Sabonis. Good help by Ellis, but a little too little.
Yeah, a little too late. Didn't get quite as far out as he needed to in that situation. But a lot of it's because he's got a 3-point shooter on the opposite side of the floor. A lot of ground to cover.
Boston puts you in that kind of conflict and dilemma defensively. Good 15 rebounds. Brown controls. Got a whistle.
I don't think with the level of physicality he plays with on offense.
Jalen was taking pictures with young Stojakovic, who was courtside prior to the game. A couple of former Cal players, or one of them anyway. One is a present Cal player. Jaylen Brown on cue knocks down the midi. Stojakovic was watching Jalen warm up. Levine inside. At least he's looking to score it.
Yeah, he is, and a nice screen off there.
Boy, Ellis got a piece of it. Tatum got it back.
Continue to get better because there's a lot of naysayers, there's a lot of doubters as DeMar DeRozan knocks down that midi. And I think he has an unprecedented amount of drive to continue to get better in this league.
Told me he feels like he's playing the best basketball of his career right now. And That's saying a lot, and he's got a good teammate in Jaylen Brown, the reigning Finals MVP, with a 3-ball to make it an 11-point Boston lead.
And really the biggest differential in this game is the Kings have not been at all productive from beyond the arc. They're at -21 now in points from beyond the 3-point line, as DeMar not able to get that many to fall and come out with 2s on the other side. As the game goes along, you're putting yourself in a bad way.
Boston is going to get their 3s up. They lead the NBA. They've attempted 48 3-points.
Shooters are 37% or better. And to have 8 guys like that and to be able to rely on that, that's why they are the best 3-point shooting team in this league.
Was Torrey Craig eating popcorn on the bench enjoying the show? Trying to wonder. He might enjoy that.
Right now, with all the love in my heart, partner, no one can see that you're eating popcorn on the sideline.
Oh, you're going to put my business out there. It's the best in the league, Katie, in my defense. Tatum. Blocked, but fouled. Yes. Tatum, an 82% free throw shooter. 3s and 2s, and he goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line.
And everyone getting some free pizza in the building.
Is that what it is tonight, pizza?
Extra excitement, yes.
Sacramento down by 8. Got to find the rhythm in their offense again. A lot of ball pounding going on right now, not much movement.
Their ability to get that man involved is going to be really, really important, and that entire possession stalled out, ended in a turnover.
Inside to Porzingis, got a mismatch on Ellis. And if too little were a picture, that would be it. Not much Ellis could do against that. The lead is back up to 10. DeRozan. That one comes off to Tatum. A cold shooting night for DeRozan at 5 for 17. Brown on the break. Couldn't convert, and here's Sabonis. Sacramento trying to get an easy one in transition, but Boston back defensively. There's Murray. Boy, Derek White, active hands. Ellis says, you can't get to that 3. Sacramento down by 7 as Jake LaRavia gets ready to come into the ball game. Tatum just lost it, got it back. 7 on the shot clock. A contested 3.
Oh my!
Wow, he's got it firing on.
A single thing you can do to defend that shot.
Inside for Sabonis, good seal, and an easy buck up from Tatum, his teammate.
The Kings recognizing mismatches really well early in their offense right now.
Doug spot up shooting.
And he's got a Ellis.
Neon Keon with the counter at the other end.
The answer back.
The lead is down to 7.
And you can feel the energy in this building. The Kings fans want to have something to respond to.
This is a mismatch. Tatum fires over Sabonis. It's a
contested, ridiculous 3s that he made out of the game. And take a look at that ankle, maybe.
Here's Jaylen Brown. Been a quiet offensive game for him. 9 points so far. Inside they go. Cornette sprays it out. Porzingis for 3. And he can do damage from there, too.
And really, that's where he wants to be, truly. I mean, he would prefer to be out there shooting that than to be kind of, banging down on the low post.
39% three-point shooter. The lead is back up to 14. Largest of the ball game. DeRozan from outside threads that one. That's a 2.
Mark, 5 of 18 from the field. So you got to wonder if, with the 4th quarter looming, if that means DeMar DeRozan is going to wake up.
Derek White, Bill Homestead. And Pritchard steps out of bounds.
Part of it has to be using their defense to create it. You got 2:45 left, and you want to at least try to cut it to 6. If you can create turnovers, get out and run, that's been the recipe to success for them here tonight.
There's DeRozan on the DHO. Pulls it back. Out to Ellis. Nice look inside. Valanciunas blocked by Porzingis.
Because in the half court, that's what you're facing right now. It's difficult to go up against the double big lineup.
Porzingis fouled on the shoot on the next one. Boston only has 1 team foul. Jaylen Brown staring down Keegan Murray. Spins away. Arabia back to DeRozan. Valanciunas. They run some split action off of it. Arabia. Ball switching sides well. DeRozan got it to fall.
About kind of using your defense to create some offense, because in the half court this is too good of a defense, especially with this lineup in right now, to be able to rely on just getting good looks.
Great pass by Brown inside. Garnett at the free throw line, slowly becoming a bigger 70% free throw shooter. Out of Vanderbilt. His father played as well, missed the second one. Here's DeRozan in transition. Working against Derek White. All defensive, all NBA play. Pritchard switches on to DeRozan. 8 on the shot clock. Fultz. He's making his shots tonight.
He's done it.
Sacramento trailing by 10 against the reigning champs. And that's what Boston continues to do. They are pummeling the Kings from the three-point line. That's their 16th make of the night compared to just 7 for Sacramento.
And Shireman adding to the bench points. It's a 32-14 advantage in favor of Boston, as Trey Lyles not able to connect, just coming in here to start the fourth.
Derek White on the bounce. Got the layup to go. 5 quick points by the Celtics to start the fourth quarter. LaRavia with some pace. Valanciunas back to Ellis. Pulls the three. Doug Christie exhorting his team. That was a good look. Back out to Pritchard. And rebounded by Lyles. Lyles, Levine, Valanciunas, LaRavia, and Ellis on the floor.
And this has been a group for the Kings here over this homestand that has been able to create a ton of momentum on the deep
point of attack defense tonight.
I don't know that we will see Jason Tatum again tonight, especially with them having the lead that they have at the moment, if they are able to continue.
The NBA championship last year, by some of the great advice that he got from Sam Cassell, it really paid dividends. That three comes up short. Leads at 14. Ellis off the drag screen. Levine with a deep pull. Another chance. Ellis around the Lyles screen. Ellis on the bounce. Out to LaRavia. 2 on the clock. Got to put it up. And left it on the front rim for Holiday, coming back the other way. Over to White on the drive. Foul. White missed 5 defenders in Holiday and White. And you could make a case this year that Jaylen Brown belongs amongst that group too.
They are not lacking for talent for certain on this team.
Neemias Queta, former Sacramento King, making a homecoming of sorts tonight. In green, Levine fires. Way off. And here comes White busting out of the pack. Back to Holiday, the trailer. That one's off to LaRavia. DeRozan and Sabonis ready to come back in, Katie. You
can't at all fault the effort and the intensity that the Kings are playing with. They just have not been able to convert, not getting the whistle there. Jake LaRavia throwing his hands up in the air, and they're going to answer back on the other end.
Here's Levine. Crosses over, changes gears, and man, put his body right into the palm. Scott, we're trying to figure out what's up. Levine knocks that. Remember, Sacramento had that big fourth quarter in the first meeting in Boston between these two teams to blow the game open, but Derek White wasn't shooting like that in that previously mentioned game. The lead is at 15 now. Levine getting busy. Tough finish.
And he's scratching and clawing to offensively climb out of this hole that the Kings found themselves in coming into the fourth.
Got 11 points on 13 shots. Holiday off the flare screen. Left that short, rebounded by Sabonis. Levine with a step back J. Pure. Down the stretch here. I mean, these are some crucial minutes coming up here.
Yeah, don't just put him in catch and shoot situations. Either get the ball in his hands or get an early offense going. I mean, get the ball down in transition, but you're not going to do that if you can't get a stop. You got to make sure to get the stop so you can get him going on the other way.
Yeah, can't be taking that out of the net. Thanks a lot, Morgan. We'll hear from you and Kyle in the postgame show. After another Shireman three, the lead is back up to 13 with 7.5 to play. Porzingis getting ready to come back into the ball game for Boston. Levine with a pocket pass to Sabonis. DHO to Murray. And they won't get it off in time.
In the season, and tonight, you know, he's 21 minutes, 9 points, 3 of 5 from downtown, and it just seems like they keep finding three-point shooters at every turn.
They switch the pick and roll. Ellis matched up against Porzingis. Shireman is hot right now. That one comes off.
And obviously with Tatum out, and the update we're hearing is that he's doubtful to return. They're going to this big lineup, and it has proved troublesome for the Kings.
Levine with the three, way off, and one and done for the Kings. Pritchard with pace. Two-corner pick and roll, and now Sabonis switching on to White. Good nail help that time by Ellis, and it leads to a three by Pritchard.
God, they just get you.
Here's the problem, Katie.
Spots.
Sacramento is now minus 33 against Boston from the three-point line. They've made 11 more threes and a deleterious giveaway. Another hurtful turnover. Cornette missed the slam.
Recipe for success against this Celtics team, but there's a reason why that is so incredibly difficult to do.
Sabonis out to DeRozan on the wing, drives it off glass, and it comes off to Pritchard. Another good look. That's the midway point of the fourth quarter here. Ellis is wrestling against Porzingis, and that's not a fair fight as he.
Big lineup has worked for them offensively. We've seen the
ball game. Down by 19, make it 20. He's given the Kings 4 points tonight, 7 rebounds. Murray.
Well, in the Kings,
Ellis inside, and it's picked off by Derek White. They collapsed on Sabonis. Pritchard, Porzingis crashing, loose ball kicked out to midcourt, and Pritchard got there first.
Kings play tomorrow night, have another difficult matchup. Second night of a back-to-back against the Thunder. And so you've got to wonder, with it being a 20-point game, 5 minutes to go, how much longer Doug Christie is going to give this to see if the Kings
go. This Cornette picked off by Levine. Levine on the move. Takes it right at White, and still coaches. Knocked out in the tournament a couple days ago, but had a great season. Here's Derek White out top. And that's going to be a foul against some. Cornette flips the screen, then rolls out to Pritchard. Good defense by Levine, puts his chest on Pritchard, got a hand up and got the miss. Ellis kept it in play. Ellis hopping into the dribble, back to Levine. Sabonis from deep. Murray trying to keep it alive, but Boston controls. 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And Doug Christie signaling to his bench. He's going to clear this bench right now and get some of these younger guys.
That's going to do it. Sacramento will do it again here tomorrow night at Golden One Center against the #1 team MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who leads the NBA in scoring while leading the youngest roster in the NBA
Doesn't
as
get
well.
any easier as this road trip, or this homestand goes on before the last road trip of the season. There's
Sabonis off the miss. This homestand was everything that the Kings thought it was, right, Katie? I mean, in terms of the reality of it, task for them to come out with a 5-2 or even a 4-3 record. That would be considered great when you consider the level of the competition on this homestand.
And also, obviously, not knowing going into it that Domantas Sabonis was going to suffer an injury right at the very beginning, just returning tonight. They've had multiple illnesses.
Trying to main first. As Phoenix is taking on Milwaukee right now, they lead the Bucks by 3 points with 3.5 minutes to go in that game. Lakers lost tonight against Orlando. Dallas won tonight, though, in Brooklyn. Anthony Davis came back for them. So things getting a little bit tight for the Sacramento Kings, who came into the evening number 9 in the Western Conference. And with a loss here tonight, Sacramento will actually fall below 500 for the first time in a long time, Katie. Isaac Jones inside, just had his contract converted from a two-way deal into a standard contract. 95 seconds to go in the ball game. Pritchard went full mixtape mode on Fultz.
He has become quite a player for this Celtics team. I mean, if you want to look at kind of how you build a roster, and we've seen it over the years with San Antonio, especially during, you know, their championship run, and we've seen it in Memphis and finding.
Joe Mazzulla has emptied his bench. Inside, the former Sacramento King, Keita, with the lay-in. He's a former teammate of Keon Ellis, if you remember.
Absolutely.
With the Stockton Kings. Both of them great stories that made their way onto standard contracts in the NBA right now. Keita with a rebound off the miss by Jones. Peterson inside for Keita. Gives up an easy layup for Walsh for 3. And tap it out for another possession. Here comes Fultz. Been a former #1 pick. Back out to Mason Jones. Little show and go by Jones. Good catch. Over to Isaac Jones for the slam.
Nice little drive and dish there by Mason Jones.
9 seconds to play. And the Boston Celtics will come in and win this one. Joe Mazzulla has his, as they win.